up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Will and Kate, you have just been exposed for being snakes by Tatler magazine. We're gonna get into that, but baby, do you know there is a royal shakeup among us? Do you know that the royal reporters are dropping like flies? And baby, we love to see it. As much as everybody thought that Harry and Diana would be the ones that take down the monarchy, it looks like Lord Voldemort, baby, he isn't the hero we chose, but he's the hero we need. It looks like William is going to be the actual person to take down the monarchy, Diana's son. Now, William might be jobless and homeless when that happens and nobody likes him, but his hair might grow back because his mother's ancestors might take mercy on him. You guys, let's get into this. What am I talking about? If you guys don't know, listen, there's been this weird trend that senior royal reporters are being fired quietly. Now we know damn well, and to me that man is scum. Go Google why he had to leave his position. Blankual blackmail, baby. It was a lot of stuff, but he got fired. A lot of other people were fired. Most importantly, there was Richard Palmer. If you guys pay attention to anything royal, the name should ring a bell. He is a senior royal reporter. And he posted just back from a 5-day break in Istanbul and ready for a new chapter in my life. When I heard that, I said, what is going on? I left the Daily Express on Friday after 20 years as a royal reporter, correspondent to freelance, specializing in royal news, feature writing, broadcast commentary, and podcasting. Open to DMs to discuss work. So everybody's like, Richard Palmer got fired because, baby, you aren't talking about opening DMs to receive works if you have the next chapter sorted. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I do want to say, be prepared to see this mofo on every American news media so he can kind of like stretch the truth, right? Anyway, Sussex Squad all over Twitter started wondering, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Some people said, I don't know, y'all, but I feel it in my bones. Says this is Casey Huey Queen Bee Empress Number said, I feel it in my bones that something's brewing. It's major and they're fighting hard to keep a lid on it. Anyway, we're waiting because we're waiting. We're patient like Job in the Bible. Another person said, listen, Dickie Arbitrator's daughter, this is onwards and upwards, said Dickie Arbitrator's daughter congratulated. Who's his name? Palmer, which is clear as he begs for work proposals via the DM. Some people said they mess themselves up with the invisible contract, so then they can't write about real news. They just regurgitate the same stories over and over using experts as some sources. Now, listen, when I heard this, I literally honestly said, I expected this to happen. You know, the Meghan and Harry hate train was only going to go so far because William is so jealous. He doesn't realize that if you do want them to keep attacking Harry and Meghan, they have to come closer. After, 3-4 years, however long it's been, there's very little they can report. And on top of that, let's be real. As much as they want to sit there and be like, oh, that's a bad thing, they can't help but notice that Harry and Meghan is winning. This is what messes up the brand for the royal reporters because you're trying to look up the sun and say that the sun is purple, not yellow. This is what the issue is. You can only say big mistake. Hollywood hates them. When Harry is in America, basically living the life that William wishes he has. I know there's palaces. I know there's this. I know there's that. William wants to live the life that Harry is living right now. But also, before we get into that, because there's a very interesting tweet, I also wanted to let you guys know, did you guys hear about that girl with Tatler, the way she exposed Kate and what's his name? The bald one, Baldilocks, Lord Voldemort. William, the way they exposed for being snakes. This is what they do. And how they screwed over Tatler magazine. It goes back to that weird Rose Hannabury story. Anyway, what she said is basically, when that story came out, Tatler basically wanted to do a bit of a takedown. When it came out, the palace was like, we're suing. But there was months and months of negotiations. Tatler finally said, fine, we'll take a few paragraphs out. They told her and Tatler, don't talk about it at all. And then they posted in the front page of the Daily Mail, Kate's victory. And she was like, you snakes. She had a book coming out. They made her be quiet during her book tour, which means she couldn't promote it. Now, I think they did this on purpose to punish her. She was quiet during her book tour. She was quiet through this. She was quiet through that. And then when it was at their advantage, the palace came out and said, ha ha, a victory. Again, they exposed them as being snakes. But one of the things that the girl actually said, she was formerly very pro Kate and William, was that there is an unspoken contract between you can only write glowing things about Kate and William. And when it comes to Harry and Meghan, you really can't say anything. Anyway, everybody's flipping out on the podcast because it's someone that was a senior, not royal reporter, but she's written books. She's been very pro the royals, all this stuff, for her actually saying it out loud. Again, it seems like everybody is tiring because part of the written contract is you give us something else to write about, and we'll write about that. Because William and Kate cleared the field, and they're the only working royals of value. Who are you going to talk about? You don't know anything about Eugene or Beatrice's life, and we don't care. And as much as you tried to make sure that Harry stayed away so he can't sell royal secrets, you were the one that was selling your brother out. And now that you have nothing new to tell them about Harry and Meghan's life, it gets boring. How many times can you say they're not accepted by Hollywood while you see everybody giving them standing ovations? How much can you say, oh, Meghan's disrespecting the crown when you see her getting money? You see what I'm saying? Well, somebody made an interesting point, and I wanted to read it to you guys before. This is from Nina Shakes LS on Twitter, and she makes a very good point. Listen to this. She said, and this goes back to the girl that put that mess about Harry and Meghan in their video. I'll put it at the end of this video if I can. I don't know if it's copyright or whatnot. It was just a little blip. But two, she talked about Richard Palmer losing his job, and she said, royal reporters losing their jobs left and right. This is one of the biggest indicators that the royal family is nearing its end of the story. The fact that there is no royal reporting anymore, no royal trips. Let's not forget, Kate and William refused to make royal trips because they embarrassed and humiliate their country, but also because William feels like he doesn't need the Commonwealth. He feels like they're fine with jolly good Britain. Because he is so small and he is like in Tory Central, he still thinks he's the leader of the free world. He said, no visits, no engagements. They will attract attention there are no royal trips, visits, engagements that will attract attention. And the need for a reporter to follow the court circular and the royals' working schedule. There are no royals left to attract any kind of interest in order for the press to pay a royal reporter in a steady way. Where are the times at Diana's tours of Australia and Canada and the US with over 100 journalists accompanying the royal party when she was still a member of that family? Diana had 50 journalists following her to Angola just after the divorce by herself. Her first visit was front page news for days. Let's also not forget the way Harry and Meghan shut things down on their official visits. This is what they're really jealous about. See, they want that power and charisma that Harry and Meghan and Diana had because they know it's currency. It's like they know they need it to feed off of, but they don't possess it themselves. And as much as they spend all this time making sure everybody else sits down quietly, when it's time for them to stand up, they have nothing to say. Their whole personality is attacking Harry and Meghan. Okay. And as much as people say, oh my God, good riddance, these royalists that just love William and Kate don't even value them because those royalists have one foot in the grave and they're boring. They need the masses to love them, not a small little percentage that Camilla controls the tabloids and are doing all these fake polls. They need the masses to love them, also to justify why, in my opinion, they are robbing the UK blind. But let's continue. They said, this is what the royal press used, abused, and lost. It's poetic justice. They had her sons after her and destroyed William's potential, while abused and neglected Harry and nonstop abused and attacked Harry's wife, Meghan. They could have had a new era with William, Kate, Harry, and Meghan, which is true. Do you understand the good press that would have come from the first mixed place person being in the royals and standing 10 toes down? But they didn't want it because the unspoken thing is part of what the royals are, they have to keep their bloodline clean because it's a whites only club. And not that they don't like foreigners, no Indians, no blacks, no. It's the fact that they're just not good enough. They don't come from the proper families, darling. They're not our type of people. In thousands of years, not one Chinese, not one East Asian, not one Indian, not a Latin American, not an American, no one. No one's been good enough because I believe it's an all white Christmas, New Year's, holidays, and all around year. Anyway, instead, Charles and Camilla and William and Kate, put her in there. I know she's sick, but I know who she was before. And hopefully, of course, she survives. And this illness changes who she is at a core level. But I think from people that are not used to dealing with people with grave illnesses or terminal illnesses, it doesn't change who you are. It brings out who you really are. And I hope who Kate really is on a base level is a decent person. I hope. Anyway, right? Charles, Camilla, and William and Kate were too jealous and too selfish, and along with the British press, they deleted their golden goose. Now, royal rotas and British press and the royal family, you are defeated and resigned to what's coming. You had the megastar of our times working nonstop for all of you and didn't appreciate her heart and soul. Now stay with Camilla and her son, William Parker Bowles, who are leading the royal family to a slow death. Thank God Harry had the strength and the audacity to leave. It's a very, very important thing. And I think it's a very well thought out piece. You guys, remember when I said the monarchy has fallen and people swarmed me 3 months ago? Oh, how dare you? How dare you? You guys, the monarchy has not just fallen. We are slowly watching the giant Goliath fall backwards. And the best part is they are doing it to themselves. You guys, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I will say this. There's nothing interesting to write about them. Nobody wants to read glowing stories, puff pieces about how they're having another meeting about early years, how they talked about homeless. Times are getting tough. People need action. It's not enough to be seen to be believed. The UK was going through better times back then. Okay? Now you have to showing, right? Showing is believing. And you know what? You know, they say this last thing I'll say, oh my God, William's very much is the Queen's son, not Charles's. I think he is the Queen's grandson because the Queen's the one that started this with her pettiness, short-sightedness, and vindictive, which he did to her sister. The same thing William did to Harry, and also what she did to Charles. The way she wanted to punish him, make sure the nation hated him as much as she hated him, looked down on him, disrespected. She stayed on the throne for much too long. She let the media attack Charles and Camilla. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, but when you think about longevity, she wanted to punish Charles. She wanted to punish Camilla. And now Charles and Camilla want to punish Harry. Harry has broken the cycle, but it all started, well, at least maybe it's been going on for generations. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I know I'm happy. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.